So much good work. Right, okay. Here we are. Luton's Deadpool podcast with me, Luton's Deadpool, and my special guest today, Hannan Ali. How you doing, Hannan? Good to see you, my friend.
It was a pleasure to talk.
Yeah, so Hannan's been kind enough to go to the chicken and chip shop actually and get us some food. Look at this guy. Man. I've already told him I've eaten today. Like, I'm getting fat. Like, that's, you probably noticed the elephant in the room. I'm not wearing my suit. And that's because it's actually in for repairs, because, man, I'm putting on the weight. I'm just ripping out the seams. It's crazy.
You have to go up to
yeah. But no, tell me firstly who you are, like, as in where you're from, what you do, you know, where you studied.
Oh, yeah.
Floor is yours.
So, yeah, born and raised Luton, Dallow, lived there all my life. Went to Children's High School Boys, Boxer High School Boys, college, studied at University of Greenwich, did business management, and then sort of been in and out of community development, national development, and now the last couple of years I found myself in philanthropy, which is the sort of practice of using your private means to do public good.
Okay.
Similar to charity, it's like, you know, it's constant debate about what's the difference. But essentially, yeah, so I work in that sector and not grant making now.
Okay.
My job is to spend money.
So where do you operate from?
So right now I work for the City Bridge Trust, which is the funding arm of the Bridge House Estates and City of London operation.
Yeah.
So we fund across London, although we're based in the city and generate our revenue from the city, but we do fund across Greater London. Before that, I used to work at the local Community Foundation and Bedfordshire Community Foundation.
Yeah.
So those of you that might not know, there's about 47 of them. Each county has its own community foundation. And that's what my sort of initial step into the community from.
Wow.
There's been a bit of, just constantly taking one thing, learning and pivoting, learn, pivot.
Man, how old are you? Young guy as well.
Just turned 30.
Just turned 30.
I think when I picked up my the number for the Love Luton race,
yeah.
And I looked at it and I went, oh, you know, you get the 30 to 34 bracket. First time I saw it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that stings. It's like, do you know what? You're not like, I'm not much older than you, but I think I look older than you. Because when I go to places, people call me sir and stuff like that now. Yeah, I really don't like it. It just it makes you feel so old. It's like you say, like when you get into that 30 to 34 bracket, it's like your whole world changes, right?
Yeah.
It's actually crazy. But like for what you've achieved so far at this age, like that, I just want to say I'm more. I know I always think you are. No, dude, don't let me go first. No, but seriously, like the first time I heard of you was at the Community Interest Awards last year, and you was wearing that red suit. Do you remember that? You got destroyed.
Sophia, if you're listening.
Oh my gosh.
I still remember.
Sophia, listen, I swear to God. So he was like an absolute killer on the stage. Like, just like Eddie Murphy or something. Do you know what I mean? He was just destroying everybody, man. And
I think I got the better end of the stick that
yeah.
So.
No, it was good though, man. Like, and that was my first sort of like look into you and to see the stuff with you. Man, I have to say, like, when I was just hearing people generally in the room talking about you, like, they spoke to you in such high esteem, and I was like, I need to find out more about it. So I done my own research into it. I saw some of the people that worked in loads of different countries and lived in different countries, and you've done so much work in the community, man. So, like, from me to you, like, I just want to say thank you. That night was part of the catalyst for me to decide to become Deadpool again. Yeah, it really was. I was sat in a room of heroes. That's what I felt like. And you was high up on that list, man. It really was.
Yeah. Like, I don't hear it often. I think it's like, you have these conversations and sometimes you don't reflect.
Yeah.
When I saw you the first time wearing the Deadpool outfit, I was like, this is it. This is Luton. You know? It's like, because Luton's full of heroes, right? Yeah. That night is just one example. You get so many like people that go day in, day out, everyday heroes. You get the ones that really shine, you get the ones that go really difficult times and still go through the situation. They make really difference. But you really see it having someone like you out that represents heroes, that's quite something. Which other fans?
Yeah, I know. Well, this is why I call myself Luton Zedful, right? Because I didn't want to like kind of come across as like I could be the only one or anything like people could do this anywhere. But my reason why I became Luton Zedful is because like, I wanted to inspire people in our town firstly to have them feel like they had a hero, and then hopefully then that would go to different towns, and then maybe everyone gets a Deadpool. I don't know how it works, but you know, I just feel like.
Chris, if you're listening, start funding Deadpools. It's going to be a Deadpool revolution across the country.
Hey, when Deadpool 3 comes out, I'm going to try and get as many Deadpools as I can to come to the cinema and to watch with me. That'd be hilarious.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I've got some crazy dreams. I'll try and achieve as many of them as I can. But yeah, no. So tell me then about you and like your connection to Luton. Like, so you've obviously grown up, and you say you went to Chorley.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Luton. My parents, my dad was born up north. He went back to London and came back here. And then, so I've always had quite a close connection to my family also here.
Yeah.
And, as you know, we've got quite a big population. So I've always it's always been really close. It's not like when I was living in Greenwich and uni. Yeah, I liked it, but it's not really.
Yeah.
You always get that thing. No matter where I go, no matter where I work, been on holiday, whatever. As soon as you touch down Luton Airport, it's like,
yeah, it is straight away. I know, like if I'm coming on the M1 and I see Junction 10 or Junction 11, straight away, man.
It's
like,
that feeling, right?
I went up a little bit. It's real special.
It's a homely feeling.
Yeah.
So Luton's always had that spot. I think there's times where I've worked away and I really missed it, and there's times where I've been here and I've wanted to go out and do something else. So I think I've found a good balance of like being able to work on it, but also still remaining involved in great organisations.
Yeah, of course.
Operating students. So in that sense, still wholly connected. But when I was younger, I used to get involved with like the likes of Inspire. When that was me, so it was where everyone used to get
yeah.
You used to get the games bus coming out the park. Yeah, so there was always things to do when you were younger.
Yeah.
So you felt like.
Oh, did you have that bus? What was that bus that used to go around? It was like a youth club bus.
He used to park up at Kingsway sometimes.
Yeah, it used to be at Hightown as well.
Yeah.
I think, that bus. There's stuff like that, man. Oh, there's stuff like that that needs to make a comeback. There's not enough like new stuff for kids around at the moment, is there?
Yeah, it's really interesting because so I get to have such like interesting conversations when you hear proposals, and that's the best thing about the job, like going out and speaking to people.
Yeah.
You hear them, they're talking to you and saying, this is what we offer, this is what we offer. I think the mix of what happened, where I think did happen, was the young people weren't involved in that decision making, so there were decisions being made, but they weren't what the young people wanted. So, like, could you imagine if the young people were at the table at the time, or whatever happened to that bus? Let's say, for example, it was funded by a foundation. Young people at the table of that foundation, they would be saying, actually, this bus needs to remain because it's important.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what happened with that, but I've seen it happen in other places, not really, but in other places, but that disconnect really shifts how and what's available in the space. But also, if you look at over the years, how interest in our changed. We grew up without phones, so we were going out, whereas now people with phones, they might not go out and spend time. They might go and spend time somewhere else. They might go and meet friends elsewhere. So I think that also plays a massive part to what sticks around. It's kind of like
of course.
But I think there's alternatives to the bus now for young people.
Yeah.
Some of them, kids now game at such a young age. They've got online communities.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. I mean, like for me, I wish that. I mean, you've got Sahil, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Who does the Golden Arrow Arching.
Yeah.
Big up to Sahil,
yeah.
Like,
My
man, I love him. Every time I see him, do you know what he does? He gives me like an intro to when I enter the room. He's amazing. There's a big fanfare like I'm Conor McGregor coming to the octagon. I swear to God, he makes me feel so tall, man. I love that guy. He's amazing.
He is.
But yeah, what going to have him on at some point. He's just long. Everything. Like trying to get back to me and stuff, like, it takes ages. But
so I'll get back to Deadpool.
yes, please. I'll see him at the Discoveries. I'll see him at the Curry Kitchen.
You just got to find him sitting down.
I'll catch him.
Because he knows so much about archery. I mean, I was a member of Golden Arrow until recently when I took a bit of a break. But for me, when I joined, he taught me how to, shoot a shot. And to me, it was one of those things. And I've said this before to many people. I said, archery is one of those sports. It's not a team sport, but it's so good for your well-being because it doesn't matter how the person next to you is shooting. It's about you and what you can do. Small things, focus and the relaxation. So he used to run it on the Sundays. I think still goes on Sundays, but it was amazing. Just having 2 hours aside in the evening or an hour aside, just taking part in that. So
I mean, let's give a big shout out to him and just say, if there's young kids around that need some sort of a drive and a challenge and a goal, like Derek's the man. Like I've got my kids doing football and stuff.
Yeah.
And, obviously, it's a bit hard because the anonymity with him. Like, I need to set up to get a friend to take them to him or something. But I'm definitely getting my kids to go to him because I've sat and talked to him many times. And the guy isn't just teaching you archery; he's teaching you life skills as well. And I think that's so important. Like when I was a kid, my football coaches would teach me life skills. At the same time, it wasn't just how to kick a ball. It was about keeping calm under pressure. It was about knowing when to be a part of a team and when to go alone. Like I really learned them skills in football, and I think sports are a great way for kids to sort of get that release, because they need to release some energy as well. I think there's a problem with that at the moment, where, like you said, they're on the phones and stuff. Man, I would do the exact same thing. When I was a kid, I just sat and played PlayStation all the time. But then I would go and play football or whatever. So, and I think that a lot of the anxieties and stuff that kids are facing nowadays is probably because of pent up energy that's not being released in a positive manner. Something like what Sahara does, that's a big shout.
True, because I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought, well, as adults, when we feel anxious, we're constantly like, you know what, let me go for a walk in the park. What have you got to sit down? What have you got to do? You're like, let me go for a stroll in a nice big field or something.
Yeah.
But then you dig into it, and you're like, when we were younger, that's where we found joy. That's where we sort of found, being with friends, hanging out. That was a peaceful moment. So we crave that in times of activity. So it makes you think what will young people want to revert to when they're older. If they're older and they're stressed, what are they going to be reverting to? If their lifestyle is very different, are they going to be going to spaces? Are they?
It's true.
Even though we know the benefits of them,
it's almost alien to them.
I hear it from young charities in London where they're talking about, London does have its amazing parks, but also it's incredibly populated. So you hear about some of these things that they're grappling with, trying to think about the solution. It's tricky. You're right. I think it is building up, and it's definitely a process. It doesn't need more attention. It needs, I think, probably sort of my generation, I would say, and upwards, to give it more mindful of that.
Yeah, because parents and sort of grandparents are a bit passive, I think, with it. Nowadays, it's not like, I wouldn't say that it's like bad parenting or anything like that. It's just that we're not noticing that there's a storm on the front and that it could possibly cause some wreckage. These kids are, like you say, I mean, what will they reflect on in adulthood? And what kind of skills they're really learning. I mean, you never know. There might be kids who sit there just coding all day or on great websites, learning stuff, listen to podcasts, reading good news articles. They might be doing stuff like that. But I know that my kids, if left unattended, will sit there and play a brick breaker game for hours and hours and hours. And I can't understand how they can do it. But obviously, I think it's because when you're that age, can you remember being bored? I'm never bored. I don't know about you. You ever bored? No. Can you remember just sitting there, just looking at the wall, and counting the spots on the wall? Because there's nothing to do. The ceiling.
Count the circles.
Make little diagrams and stuff on the ceiling. Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Or just make games as you're walking down the road, like trying to step on the crack or
to me, that's a bit of a flag. It's like, that, if you look at creativity, often some people say, well, boredom leads to creativity. Because you're building that space in your mind where you're not thinking about other things, but you're freeing it up.
Yeah.
To come
it's almost like a bit of meditation, isn't it? It's a little bit like meditation, because, like you say, it clears your mind. And it just allows ideas to come in, which is kind of strange. Because, it's like, I suppose the more you deprive yourself of things, the more your brain creates. It's kind of like, you ever heard of sensory deprivation technique?
Yeah.
So, like, go into one of them, it's like all of a sudden being a live daydream. just disappearing to something. I mean, I've done something similar to that before, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, and it was really relaxing. Oh my god, wow, and I felt amazing afterwards.
How long was the session?
It was like an hour session. But it wasn't like the one with the salt wall where you're like floating, but it was kind of like you're deprived from light and sound. It's totally quiet, dead quiet. The first 5 minutes of it, just sort of sitting there, it's almost like you're going to sleep, and then bang, your mind just starts creating stuff. And you could just sit there for hours. It's great. It's really good. It's like a form of meditation, because you kind of.
Is that why you did it, as a form of?
Yeah, because obviously I have my problems, like mental health wise and stuff, and I've been searching for a very long time for solutions. Because, no disrespect to the NHS, I love the NHS to absolute death, but they are so under pressure that it's impossible for them to give adequate care in that area. So you kind of have to seek your own solutions. And for me, meditation, it's key. It's absolutely key. You get up every day and you just take a little bit of time for yourself, just to clear your thoughts and to start the day totally fresh and grateful for it. It changes your whole outcome for the day.
It does, and I think that's the trick. Like, people often think resilience is. I often stay tuned out of Ron a lot. My favorite side of it. And that's what it's sad. People often think that resilience is one of those the plan through things, but actually the grit of it. It comes down to how good you are at the breaks. So it's how well you pause and go and pause. And that's what that's how you build. And if you're factoring in meditation, you're factoring, like for me, I factor in walks out. I go to hikes and disconnect. I have 24 hours with no technology whatsoever, and I'm protect.
Yeah.
So I'll completely shut off from the phone. I'll leave my phone and go up to something like that. Or even close to home, Dunstable Downs. You've got all sorts. And I'll do that, and that's in the midst of like a heavy week. But you come back, and you're like, fine. And that's how I sort of balance.
Do you work out the exercise and stuff as well?
I do. I've been slacking recently, but
telling me, bro.
I'm getting the pounds of it, but and I should have run a bit more in preparation for this run we just had on the weekend.
Oh my gosh, that is something that we haven't talked about. So tell me, what did you do firstly? What was the distance?
So I did a 10K. There's a couple of us that did 10K, a couple of us did 5K, but we were all mixed up.
What sort of time did you get there?
So me and my sons did, we both finished around an hour and 10 hours. Wow. I'm not wrong, but we stroll stuff.
That's still good though, man. It's still good.
Because we sort of said to ourselves, like, we want to have a good laugh. We want to, we want to have a chat with others. Whatever.
Yeah, because it's about an hour is kind of the average, isn't it? Roughly.
Yeah.
Because I done a 5K before, and then I decided I'm not running anymore.
I think if I had more time to in the run up to this, I would have probably gone for a half. But I just didn't. I couldn't fit it in my schedule, and I had to go. When I was waiting for a while, it was just all.
Well, did you see some of the people coming at the end of the half marathon?
Yeah, what's the group's name? The ones in the red vests.
Stopsy Striders.
Stopsy Striders.
Big up the Stopsy Striders.
You're all nuts. I know. We were there. We were passing wood out. They were just blitzing past us.
Yeah.
And we sort of looked over, and you could see because we loved it with the colour. Yeah. So you can see the purple badges.
Yeah.
They're the half marathon folks.
Do you know what? honestly, Subsea Shrine has been around for a real long time. Since I was a kid, since we were kids. I mean, I used to see them running all the time when I was younger, and like my mum doing that for a little bit. Like, because I grew up around that area, I think Subsea sort of area. And yeah, like everybody knows them around it because you just see them, and there's always a big pack as well. I'm like, how? And they're just going crazy. I'll go for a drive. I'll come back half an hour later. They're still running. I'm like, go home, watch some TV. What's wrong with you people?
Just going.
Yeah, they love it. They love it. They're a big inspiration as well. And it's a shame that they don't get much. Maybe I need to get someone from them.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to get a story.
Absolutely, get one of those on.
Because
A couple of them.
yeah, I mean, like, this is what I want to do. I want to have people on who are cool new people who have stuff to say, and I think you should have more of a spotlight like yourself. Man. Like, seriously, dude. Like, I really hope that this one goes big for you, particularly. Then you get more spots and more stuff, and then more good stuff happens to you. Because then I believe the more power that you get, the more you share. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm kind of hoping for in the things I'm doing. It's like, you know, I love that girl. She's amazing. She's amazing. I mean, she doesn't need anybody at all, does she? She's so passionate. The drive is insane in that
solo band. She's and the sports focus for her is massive and really pleased to see the direction.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to sort out having her on. I mean, like, I would like to do the three of us, because I feel like we're the three amigos in a way. Because I always see you, and then I always see her at the same time, and then we're always gassed to see each other. It's wicked, man. Like, I was speaking to a friend actually, he saw the video of you running past, and I'm going mad, and then you were like, "Deadpool, I love you," and he loved it, man. He loves like it's nice to see that, you know, along the way of doing all this chat and stuff, like, I'm making friends, and same to you, like, you know, you find that, like, you find really like-minded people in this world.
You do, and I think the ones that are always giving, you know, they're the ones that always get more as well. So that's a real philosophy that I believe in. The more you give, the more you get. So the constant, you know, and the more you get, then the more you give, and so on. It's just a constant growth thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Really like a bit of a, I think that's what I try.
Yeah.
Whether sometimes it works, it doesn't. It's just a balance of like trying to figure out how many things you can do that will sort of put you in a position where you feel like you're doing the most good thing possible.
That's good.
That's how it
cool. Well, so what about, like, what do you think is happening with Luton right now? Like, what do you want to see happen?
Question. So at the moment, I think there's lots. You're seeing lots of people step up post-COVID. During COVID, and I can't really say post-COVID, cases are going back up, but you know, you've seen lots of people step up, and that community feel that was there, it's now amplified.
Yeah.
You know, everyone came together to keep that going. You can see that now. You're going to continue to see more initiatives come out. You're going to continue to see people getting together and doing partnerships and collaboration, and all sorts. And I think that's the same with any sort of civic space. You're going to see lots of people burning out too, because that's also because we've just been one crisis after the other, and if we're not careful, we could fall down a bit of a dark market. So you know, you will see people burning out, but at the same time, it's about how everyone else manages to bring them back up. You go as a civic space, you know. And then I think you're probably like what I would like to see more of is like people merging services, things, and ideas, and intelligence, and knowledge, and really collaborate.
Yeah.
You know, not the sort of tokenistic style, or like one person taking charge, but really sort of
working together.
You know, because we're all part of one ecosystem, right? We're all part of Luton.
We are one Luton.
And yes, like I said earlier, you get the different types of heroes, right? There's all sorts of archetypes, but there's also those heroes that just have that one skill, and they use that, and they're forced to replicate that skill. You might be amazing with numbers.
Yeah.
You know, you might be great at finance, in which case you work on yourself, but then you also give to others with that one skill.
Yeah.
You know, just because that person isn't, I don't know, let's say, like they're not great at archery, so they might not be running, but they're good with numbers, so they might be helping. So I think that you'll see. I'd like to see personally more of that.
More integration between different services together working as one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's easier. I mean, it's definitely easier said than done because so I got accepted onto Greater London, which is like Mayor of London's Civic Future Program.
Wow.
And
Congratulations, boy, bro. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud. Well done, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to try and put together the learning and share it out. Just, because I'm, what's going on and the type of conversations we're having. And that to me, it's like being in a room with about 20, 30 everyone on a similar playground, it's like more different backgrounds, more different experiences, trying to think. We're not really trying to offer solutions, but trying to think of what civic spaces would look like, which is really exciting.
That is incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wanting Jetson type stuff, like flying cars, tubes, you just go in, but you just go on, you just go to a completely different place in half a second. Like, that's the kind of work. I know I'm probably like just living.
No, I'm the same as you. When I was in college, I would often say, I don't need to drive because by the time I'm like 25, we're going to have driverless cars. I'm still waiting. It's something you can look forward to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're doing something. I think the closest they've got to like actual driverless cars out and about right now is they've got them little takeaway robots that go around building beans. Have you seen that?
I have, yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. I was walking around building beans the other day, and I saw one of these things, and it was going to go into me, and it stopped, like as if it knew I was there. And like it had some sort of awareness, obviously it has awareness of some sort, and then it turned, pivoted, and it just went around me. Like, it was the weirdest experience. I was like, this is like I've just experienced like an alien life form. Do you know what I mean? It's so weird.
Can you imagine like future kids that will be normal, but then they'll be like, oh, we grew up around.
Well, just think about like, do you remember the Macintosh computer? Yeah, you remember that? Now look at what we have today. So imagine that robot plus 30 years.
It's incredible. I mean, so I sit on the board of an organisation called Hannan Ali. It was a startup. We started about 2 and a bit years ago. We have an amazing director who really touches on things like that. So it's like, where's artificial intelligence, the advancement of technology taking us?
Yeah.
What are the issues that we're going to see? So, did a piece of research around the images of AI. I can't take any credit for it because I didn't do anything for it. But I love promoting it because I think what they managed to pull off was reimagining. When you put AI into Google, you just see a blue, white, big eyes sort of robot.
Yeah.
That's it. So the project that they did was essentially around reframing that, what should be look like when you research it.
Yeah.
And then also around the health sector, the financial sector, transport. What's that going to look like? What's the impact of that like? Because if you think about it, the information that one robot has to carry just to be able to move, sense you, go around you, that's thousands, millions possibly of data points gone into some program somewhere, and there's inherent problems.
Yeah,
so we really need to address that. Exactly what's the bias in that data, and how are these machines making decisions? Because imagine if you were dressed up as Deadpool, and the program was built to recognize a human.
It's not going to know.
It's not going to know. It's going to come straight into
I know. Oh my God, that's how I'm going down.
So
that's how I'm going to go down.
Hopefully the people programming thought about it, but data.
Yeah, I think I'm big enough by then. I'm just in the data pool somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm in the Google search, so they'll be able to get me. It'll be right. But,
so
I actually used to work in robotics myself.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I was an electrical engineer.
Okay.
I started off in sort of like low voltage, like electronics, and then I got into robotics sort of stuff where I was going out and I was like maintaining robots in factories and there was one robot that we had come in and it's an absolutely insane piece of kit. It's 2 robotic arms, right? It can play the drums, and it can play a keyboard and the guitar, and it switches between them. I have to find the video for you. There's a video online where they showcase like the one that I don't know if it's the one that we built, but it's a similar one. And it shows it playing the drums and doing the guitar, and it's just absolutely insane. But yeah, like I used to go to like car factories to service, maintain, install these sort of things. So Yeah, I had a little taste of that world. It is
That's
truly insane to see, like, when you watch it, like a car be built down the line, and the speed that it's being built at. Like, I can do stuff quite quick with my hands, but oh my God, it's just absolutely insane. It's a bit like how far it goes as well. It's exciting.
Would you ever go back into it? Or
Definitely not.
You put those days behind you.
No way, I'm done. Oh, forget it, man. Getting up at like 4 in the morning and getting home at like 9 at night, like, can't be doing that anymore. So, that was part of the reason why I kind of became Deadpool in a way, because I quit my job in December 2019, and I planned to stay at home for about 6 months to just have some time off, right? Because I just worked since I was 16, and then I was going to look after my little girl, right? And then I was going to study something new, and then I was going to start something just totally brand new. Wasn't sure what yet. Then I quit my job. Come to January, COVID here. My plans were turned on their head. And then by the May sort of time, we was in lockdown, and my friends were doing this superhero stuff, so I enjoyed it with that. And then here I am. But it was good to, in a way, because I got to do this, and then at the same time sort of rediscover what I wanted to do. And so what I'm doing currently, I'm actually studying for a degree in economics.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I just decided I don't want to work for anyone anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got a bit of money that I can kind of
You're
do
full of
stuff
surprises, I'll tell you that.
Well, listen, I've got a plan. I've got a plan. I want to be a philanthropist, just like you, man. For real. I want to set up a financial advice sort of place.
Okay.
Right? Now, I know this is going to sound really holy, and my idea builds with time, right? The more I learn, the more I realise what I can do, limitations, all that stuff. But what I essentially want to do, I want to make my friends and the people in this town better off. I don't want them to have to worry about finances, so I'm going to provide free financial advice to everybody. Right? And I just want to help to raise the town, because I think that if you don't have to worry where your bills come from, you're probably going to be more productive. You're probably going to approach things more positively. If I can do that for a lot of people in this town, what does that do to the town? Do you know what I mean? How does the town look a year or 2 years after that?
Economics is fascinating because it's the bedrock of most present day society.
Yeah.
Right? You're studying this, right? So you look at margin. How do we value? What's the value of a glass of water for someone who's got 10 glasses of water versus someone who's in the desert?
Yeah.
Right? So things like that. I'm so glad you told me that you're studying economics, because for me, that just goes to show the right type of people with the right type of mindsets are interested in it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people aren't. It's often economics gets a bad stick sometimes.
Yeah.
It's numbers, graphs.
No, it's everything.
It's so much more.
Everything. That's what I learned. I learned that it's it touches every part of society. It's been a part of us ever since there was a point. Do you know what I mean? And even before that, it wasn't necessarily a point, but it was goods and services instead being exchanged, and there was sort of basis of how people worked. But yeah, I don't want to bore people with my business.
Oh.
Yeah, I fall asleep sometimes reading the books, but yeah, I've learned some really cool stuff from it.
Well, we'll have to talk about economics and market philosophy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Maybe if there's some hardcore economics nerds out there, then we can do another podcast for them. And I can say things.
Will come and teach you once he graduates.
Yeah, I can't teach anyone yet. I'm in my second year. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
My first year went great. I've done really good. I'm on to the second one. I'm loving it.
Good.
Loving being in tutorials and stuff, and just listen to lectures. And it's awesome, man. And I'm doing it later in life, but I've even decided I already know what I'm going to do after this, because I'm not done. I've been so far in my life. I've been a plumber, electrician, a warehouse guy. I guess I worked in a bar, and I was a trained chef as well.
Right.
And now I'm looking. Then obviously I've done the robotics sort of stuff, and cool stuff. And now I'm Deadpool. Then I'm going to be some financial advisor guy. I'm not really sure yet how that's going to work. But that's going to work. And then after that, I'm going to go back to being a chef.
No,
Because that's where
is that
my
where
eyes.
the
I
passion
love food, man.
Yeah.
I love food so much.
Raw
Oh my
food.
God. Yeah, like I made a lemon cake today. I'll show you a picture after we're done. But I'll put it up as well. I'll show you the lemon cake. But it was an amazing lemon cake. I've been watching MasterChef Australia. Like crazy. I'm obsessed with MasterChef Australia. I don't know why if the Australian one or the UK one. But I think it's the accents. I just love the accent. I love the Australian accent. So
yeah, I see clips of it.
oh no, they're brilliant. Yeah, they're brilliant. But yeah, what do you think about food?
I love food. I would dare compare myself to you with cooking skills because I'm abysmal at that. But I love food. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that being heritage, that to me is like, and everyone will argue that their mum makes the best food. So whoever wants to argue that.
You were telling me your mum does.
Yeah, I'm always saying my mum does.
Of course,
Someone will say, "Oh, no, actually, my mum does." But yeah, so I think that I quite like Turkish food, and I really like Chinese stuff.
Yeah, cool, man, cool. This is going to be the second and last podcast that I talk about this, I promise. And yeah, about Chicken George.
I have, yeah.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Yeah, I went to the Chicken Georgia kitchen today because I was like getting the itch. You know what I mean? I haven't had some George chicken for a long time, so I needed to see what it was like. It's actually pretty good over there. They're doing a good job there. Okay. It is sad that it's missing the town. I was sort of saying to the guy I had in the last podcast, Shaq, big up Shaq from Bubble City. I love Shaq. You're amazing, man. He's looking at opening this nachos place in town called Buenos Nachos, yeah? And it's going to be this crazy version of nachos that we've never seen in the UK.
Okay.
He's like obsessed. He's certain this is going to be something to take over. I believe him. Tried his bubble tea. It's the best in town.
Okay.
I think he's a real passionate guy about this. So
right.
I said to him that there is a gap now because the town had a staple that was Chicken George. It's missing. Like someone needs to step in. So yeah, I'm hoping that he can do something. But we need like a wings place. You know what I mean? So good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that does pop up. I mean, Luton's got its fair share, and I mean, anyone that comes to Luton eats in places, whether it's a very far town, whatever, they're always going away saying, "Oh my God, it's amazing."
Yeah.
When we're comparing to other places, where Asian food, got Bradford, Birmingham, Manchester.
Yeah.
They're always like, Luton's definitely up there for a small town.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Wow,
incredible.
Do you know what I have to say? Like, our takeaways are amazing, especially curry houses and the different food.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of my favourites, so I don't think I should say because like I feel like I'll pit them against each other. I'm not gonna touch on food places because they're sensitive, aren't they? Like food people around Luton, like because they're really passionate. Yeah, they believe in their food. Like, you know, if I was to say that I like this place or this place, and
I'm just happy if I don't burn my eggs.
Yeah. you're playing it safe.
That's all. I tell you what, I lived in Colombia for a while.
Okay.
And that's where I learned how to make real curry. And, you know, that is like a specialty that was so. Yeah, I can cook a prawn curry.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I can do.
Okay.
Which is what I can.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I think maybe we should do that. You know what? I keep thinking about this, right?
Lots of ideas.
Yeah, look, this is a place for ideas. By the way, we're in the Hat Works today. I've rented a room out for this podcast because I wanted to do something local in Luton, and I couldn't think of a better place than that, actually. Like, these people are amazing. But I'm thinking that we maybe use this space for an event, right? Now, I don't know how I'm going to work this out. It always starts like this before I do something. It always works itself out. I never need to have the full idea at the start. Just trust me.
Yeah, no.
So I'm thinking chicken challenge for Luton. Alright? Chicken George is gone. We need a new chicken king. Yeah? I say we host a one-day event. Yeah?
Everyone
bring me your best wings. Bring me your best. You're allowed to bring one portion of wings. That's it.
You were just complaining about not fitting into your suit. You're not going to walk out.
We have a panel. Alright? And I'm only allowed one bite per wing.
If
Otherwise, then, I will be fat rolling down the road. Like, we don't want to see that, man. Kids make fun of me as it is. Do you know what I mean? Would you
that's
think?
a good idea.
I think that's something.
I think you should run with ideas. But if you have an idea, I think you don't necessarily have to flesh out everything.
Yeah.
But you have an idea which you're working towards, and I think you could pull it off.
I think it would be amazing. Make it a big fun fanfare thing, and like put it all over social media. Have it like do it outside town hall.
Yeah.
I just set up the table, bring me your chicken,
Yeah.
and then I'll give you a little mark out of 10.
That's how some of the best things start. Plug the idea to the people, those that are listening.
Before you know it, we'll be hosting our 10th anniversary of the Chicken Challenge Awards. Right, anyways, I think this has been a very, man, I have to say, I've really enjoyed the chat.
Yeah.
I really have, man. Like, bro, you've got a special place. Oh, my mic. That's going to sound funny, I'm sorry. You have a special place in my heart, man. I just want you to carry on doing the thing you're doing. Inspire people like you did inspire me. I mean, just think of it like this. I try and say this because it's not just, I'm going to say this a lot in my podcast because I'm inspired by a lot of people. You are one of them, yeah? I don't want to degrade or devalue any one person who I say inspires me because they all hold equal measure in my heart, right? But I just want you to know that there was a time when I was just an absolute nobody. Just walking around the town, I got invited to community awards. A year after I'd done my thing during lockdown, I'd done 3 months in my suit in lockdown, right? That was it, yeah? And then I managed to work my way into these amazing awards where I got to sit in a room full of amazing people and I just got inspired by one after the other after the other. Now, the reason why I say this is because if that could happen for me, just being around you and hearing about you one night, just think about like, what you could be doing with your voice in this moment now, who might be listening. Yeah, I know it sounds like a big responsibility, but it's the truth, man. Like,
it is. That means a lot to me. Hearing it from you, I really appreciate it because I look at you and I say the same. I tell people about you. Like, this is what this type of spirit. That to me, is kind of.
Oh, awesome. All right, well, thank you very much, Hannan.
Yeah.
My brother. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Been a pleasure.
We're going to dig into these burgers now.
We're going to do, yes, that's what we're going to do. And he's not seeing my face. Don't worry. See you later, everyone.
See you, everyone.